it's time to get into some book news. The first one is going to be Keira Knightley has written a children's book. The book is titled I Love You Just the Same. The synopsis, let me know what you think about this because I think it's so adorable. When a young girl's life is turned upside down by a new arrival, she's taken on a surreal and dreamlike journey. Through enchanted forests and across mystical seas, she follows a trail of notes from her mother to find her way back home. I did not know this, but she not only did she write it, she also made the illustrations for the book. And again, another talented person. She's not only beautiful, a talented actress. She also sings quite beautifully. She also draws really beautiful drawings. Like, it is just so unfair.
That artistic part of her brain. You know what's really interesting about that too is I know she talked about this in terms of acting, about how she has dyslexia and how like reading scripts was really difficult for her. And so I think that's like kind of a beautiful turn for her to use that challenge and like put it into an art that requires her to learn lines, but then also put out a book. It really speaks to like what a strong person she is.
Yeah, it's really nice. And not only that, but then she also got to partner with her husband, who is James Wrighton, who they're also kind of putting out like a little song that goes with the book. So I just thought it's like a whole little family affair, and it's so cute. But honestly, guys, at least go look it up online. The illustrations I was in awe. Like,
that's so cool.
It was so cool. Yeah, really nice. On the opposite side of not really happy, joyful things, the Lost Book of the Dead has been discovered by an archaeologist in an Egyptian cemetery. It has been remarkably well preserved. Which is not really a book. It's like a papyrus scroll, like a really long one, and it's roughly about 49 feet long. It was found in its original burial context, making it the first such complete scroll discovered at this site. So the reason why we care about this is because it tells us a lot about the type of life that the people led at the time. So it gives us a lot of historical context about cultural items, like the way that they lived, the food, all of these type of things. So it gives us like a little bit of an insight as to how that the people lived at that time. So it's like a really big deal for them. Again, they haven't been able to find one in like such an intact way before. So this is like a really big discovery. Not only did they find this at the cemetery, but they also found numerous burial items, including stones, wooden coffins with mummies, and over 25,000 Ushabti statues. So pretty big deal. And all of this is going to be displayed at the Grand Egyptian Museum if you're interested in checking that out.
That sounds so cool.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Where was I? Okay, I went in Chicago. I went to like a science museum, and they had like a whole Egyptian area, and it is so freaking cool seeing all the mummies up close and all of the artifacts like really up there. It's just it's crazy to think like these items are like over 5,000 years old and they're just there. I don't know. It's cool.
I know. And it makes me kind of sad because I'm like, what are the items that they would find around my burial site? I feel like,
what would be your Book of the Dead?
I mean, it would be a real snooze, let me tell you. It'd be like she worked a lot, and then she worked on this podcast, and then she was like playing with these two hairy beasts all the time.
Oh, maybe it would be like a cute, adorable things. But you know, they might be calling beasts. Like they were these little weird skeletons.
It's like those, I think some of the Egyptians were buried with like cats. And things. Mm-hmm. Yes, so interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully people will still know back in 10,000 years from now what dogs are. I hope they know. They have to know what dogs are.
Yeah, they'll probably just be like totally genetically different than they are today.
Yeah. So
who knows?
Anyways.
Okay, on a totally similar note, the Clueless sequel is in development at Peacock. We went from so classy to like, also this is barely book news. Like it is book news because Clueless is based on, of course, Jane Austen's Emma, in which a young girl sort of haphazardly tries to couple up her friends with men who are at times interested and oftentimes not interested, to disastrous results. Clueless is, of course, based on that. It originally debuted in 1995. Alicia Silverstone, of course, will reprise her role as Cher. I'm very excited for this to come out.
Me too. I think going back to like we're very millennial women. Yes. So for us, this is a really cool thing, and I'm obsessed with it. I can't wait to watch it.
And it's a reinterpretation. It's a fanfic of Jane Austen. We love this.
Yeah, little call out to our last episode, guys.
Okay, and then our very last story. I thought this was a super interesting thing. I found this in Publishers Weekly, but nonfiction books about abuse of political power, particularly Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny, have seen a huge bump in sales in the last few months. On Tyranny is 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. So On Tyranny came out in 2017 and is the historian Snyder's reaction to a Trump presidency the first time around. It's a short guide of 20 different strategies that citizens can use to defend democracy against an authoritarian government, with the first rule being do not obey in advance. At Broadway Books in Portland, Oregon, sales of On Tyranny jumped to 378 copies in the first 6 months of 2025 compared to 49 in the same period in 2024. A bookseller has said, we've had multiple customers buy On Tyranny in bulk with the intention of handing it out to friends or at protests, notes Praveen Madan, CEO of Kepler's bookstore in Menlo Park, California, adding that his store sold a lot of copies just before the recent No King's Day. The series of nationwide protests decrying Trump and his policies held on June 14th. Our customers are trying to understand what's going on in our country since the election, and this is their way of doing it.
I love that. We do have quite a bit of those, not that one in particular. We have a lot of political books around my house just for us to kind of try to learn how it used to be versus what is now, and what are some of the things that we as a society can potentially do to make things better. So I really love this.
I know, and it's such an interesting temperature check of how people are feeling. Like, I think people are feeling really like confused and out of sorts, and on like both sides of the political aisle. And I think that it gets such an interesting way to like, I'm proud of people going out and buying a book and trying to be like, I want to understand if I want to affect the change I want to see. Like, here is a way to do it. Anyway,
exactly.
I thought it was kind of cool.
I love that. Anything else you want to chat about?
No, that's all I had for book news.